Picking a cloud provider, it used to feel like a simple IT decision. Not anymore. Right now, it's probably one of the biggest strategic calls your business will make. We're not just talking about data storage. This is the foundation for everything you're going to build next. And with AI just exploding onto the scene, the stakes in 2025, they've never, ever been higher.
So why does this matter so much? Well, check out this number. By 2030, the global AI market is expected to be worth a jaw-dropping $1.81 trillion. And what's the engine making all of that possible? You guessed it, the cloud. It's the factory floor for AI. It's where the data lives, it's where the models get trained, it's where the magic happens. So the cloud you pick, that directly decides if you're a contender or a spectator in this whole new AI game.
And this quote, it just nails the risk, doesn't it? Get this wrong and you're looking at huge cost overruns, technical dead ends, and your amazing AI models just failing to scale. This is not just an IT decision, it is a fundamental business strategy decision. The wrong platform can kill your best ideas before they even get off the ground, burying you in technical debt and costs that just spiral out of control. But hey, the flip side, the right choice? Now that is a serious, serious competitive advantage.
Okay, so how are we going to break this all down? Simple. We'll start with the sticks, why this matters so much. Then we'll introduce the big contenders. After that, we'll dive into the key battlegrounds where they're competing. We'll help you figure out your strategic choice, and finally, we'll talk about mastering the cloud, because picking one is only half the battle.
All right, let's get into it. Section 2, the contenders. It's time to meet the big three. First up, you've got Amazon Web Services, or AWS. They're the OG, the market leader. Then there's Microsoft Azure, the titan of the enterprise world. And finally, Google Cloud Platform, the techie innovator of the group. Think of them like this. Each one has its own unique personality, its own way of doing things.
Okay, so let's break down their DNA. AWS is like the giant, sprawling city of the cloud world. It has everything, the most services, the biggest community, but it can be really complex to navigate, and yeah, costs can get out of hand if you're not paying attention. Azure's superpower? It's all about that Microsoft connection. If your company lives and breathes Windows Server and Office 365, Azure feels like home. It just fits. And then you have Google Cloud. They're the cool, innovative tech startup of the three, the trailblazer in things like AI, data analytics, and Kubernetes. Their weakness? They're still playing catch-up in terms of market share, and their enterprise community isn't quite as big.
All right, so we know who the players are. Now let's see where the real fight is happening. We're going to dive into two key battlegrounds, AI and government. Believe me, in these two arenas, the platform you pick can be the difference between a huge win and a total disaster.
First up, the AI arena. And this is a true clash of the titans. On one side, you have AWS with its super mature services like SageMaker, plus their new heavy hitter for generative AI, Amazon Bedrock. Then there's Azure, playing its classic enterprise card. They've got this incredibly tight integration with OpenAI, which, let's be honest, is a massive draw for a lot of companies right now. But Google Cloud has always been the brainiac in the room when it comes to AI. They're leveraging years of their own internal work to offer these amazing tools like Vertex AI and the data monster that is BigQuery. Okay, let's switch gears to another place where the stakes are incredibly high, government. And I love this analogy, thinking of sensitive data like criminal justice information as a locked evidence vault. It's perfect, because it's not enough to just be secure. You need a fortress. You need ironclad proof of who has access, when, and why. And that's exactly why these specialized government clouds even exist. And here's the key thing to get. Not all government clouds are created equal. They're all different. Take AWS GovCloud. That's built for the really sensitive stuff. We're talking Department of Defense or DoD level compliance. Then you've got Azure's GCC High, which is a huge player with federal agencies, especially those dealing with criminal justice information or CJIS data. Google Cloud is in the game too, with its own set of strong compliance offerings. The takeaway is that each one is tuned for a slightly different job, whether it's top secret national security or public sector research. And listen, this isn't just a US thing. This idea of digital sovereignty, which basically means your data has to follow the laws of the country it's physically in, is a huge deal everywhere. You've got GDPR in Europe, FedRAMP in the US, IRAP in Australia, the list goes on. So if you're a global company, you have to think really, really hard about where you put your data and who can touch it. Okay, we've met the players, we've seen the battlegrounds. Now for the most important part, making your choice. This next section is all about getting practical. We're moving from what are they to which one is right for me. So I want you to do something for me. As we go through these next couple of slides, I want you to keep one simple question in your head. What is my number one priority? What is the primary objective?
Is it just raw, massive scale? Is it making everything work perfectly with the tools you already have? Or is it about being on the bleeding edge of what's possible? Seriously, think about it. Got it? Okay, let's go.
Okay, so if your answer was something like, I need unmatched scale and proven reliability, then your compass is probably pointing straight to AWS. It's just the default choice for a reason. They have the biggest service catalog, they've been doing this the longest, and their massive partner network is like a huge safety net. Just look at a company like Capital One. This fintech giant went all in, moving everything to AWS because they needed that rock-solid scale and security.
All right, what if your answer was, I need this to work perfectly with all my Microsoft stuff, and I need a killer hybrid cloud? Well, in that case, Azure is almost a no-brainer. They are the undisputed kings of hybrid. It's their specialty. With tools like Azure Arc, you can manage your own data centers and the cloud like it's all one thing. The UK's National Health Service is a perfect example. They're using Azure to modernize their systems while keeping some data on-premise for compliance. It's a classic Azure use case.
But what if you said, forget all that. I want to be on the cutting edge. I need the best tools for AI, data, and Kubernetes. If that's you, then you're probably a Google Cloud person. They are the innovation leaders, hands down. They're running on Google's own insane global network, and their pricing is often seen as way more straightforward. And who uses them? Well, Spotify for one. That amazing recommendation engine that knows what you want to listen to next, that's powered by Google Cloud's data analytics.
So you've picked your provider. Great. But the journey's not over. In fact, it's just beginning. To really win, you have to master the cloud. And that means two things: getting a handle on your costs and thinking beyond just one provider. So let's talk about two pro-level concepts, FinOps and multi-cloud.
First up, FinOps. It sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. It stands for Cloud Financial Operations, and this is so important. This isn't just a task for the finance department. It's a whole cultural change where your tech teams, your business teams, and your finance teams all work together. Everyone takes ownership of what's being spent in the cloud, making smart decisions based on real data, not guesswork. And this chart here is the perfect way to think about it. It maps out different FinOps jobs based on how much effort they take versus how much value you get back. Look down there in the bottom right corner, scheduling. That's stuff like just turning off your test servers at night and on weekends. Super low effort, but high value. That's your quick win, your low-hanging fruit. Then look at the other side, things that take a ton of effort for not a lot of return. This helps you focus your energy on the stuff that actually makes a difference to your bill. The other big brain move to master the cloud? Realizing you don't have to be loyal to just one provider. A multi-cloud strategy is becoming super common. You're basically picking and choosing the best tool for each specific job. It's like having a whole toolbox instead of just one hammer. And the huge bonus, you avoid getting locked into a single vendor.
And it's not as crazy as it sounds. A simple way to start is just to put your work where it makes the most sense, right? Maybe you run your brand new AI project on Google Cloud because they're the best at it. You keep your core enterprise apps that rely on Microsoft stuff over on Azure, and you use AWS for some other big complex system. Then you use tools like Google's Anthos or Azure Arc to manage everything from one single place. Boom, you get the best of all worlds.
So, that leads us to a really interesting final question. We spent all this time comparing AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, trying to figure out who's best. But what if the whole idea of picking a single winner is the wrong way to think about it? What if the smartest move you can make is to not choose just one?
Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's not about picking a favorite team and wearing their jersey. It's about building a foundation for your business that is flexible, that's secure, and that's cost-effective. The goal is to create a setup that lets you innovate and grow for years to come, no matter what crazy new technology is just around the corner. That's the winning strategy.